Hey Chloe, I'm really sorry that Grace and I aren't able to be there with you tonight, celebrating all of your accomplishments, but I know that you're probably having a wonderful time with our family and with your friends, just celebrating you and everything that you've been able to accomplish in school. I think I can speak for everybody when I say that I'm a little surprised that we would find ourselves at this moment. I don't think anyone really expected for you to grow up so quickly or as wonderfully as you did either. I still think of you as my little annoying sister who really loved watching Wow Wow Wubsy, or who would pretend to be a Jedi with me with some sticks that we found out in the backyard growing up. But I mean it when I say this. Um, Watching you grow up has been one of the most profound and wonderful things of my life. I still remember when you were a little baby and when mom and Noe brought you home from the hospital and just being really freaked out about how small you were and how small you looked in everyone's arms when we carried you. And then seeing you as a 2-year-old, going on 16 and becoming a teenager and going to school, and now as a young lady entering into college. And it blows my mind that that was me 6 years ago, or Aaron 9 years ago, because I don't know, you're just still little to us. It doesn't feel right. But despite all that, despite all the things that we are surprised about you, or how you turned up, or how wonderful you are, one of the things that I marvel over is how you've turned out and how you've grown despite all of the difficulties that you've been through and have seen. And at the core of all that, what I'm most amazed by is how, despite everything, you have managed to stay who you are. And who you are at the core is what we all strive to be, but we all fail at. And who you are is you're good, you're compassionate, you're a very loving person. You have something about you that everyone else just tries to imitate. We try our best at faking it until we make it, and it usually runs out as soon as someone comes and tests our patience, and we just automatically give up on that goodness, and we forget who we are and we should be kind. But despite that, you manage to keep it, to stay the same, because that's just who you are. And I think from a young age we saw this too. I remember when you were little, how people would say that your teachers would say you were always really good at making friends, or you would talk to other kids who didn't have friends because you knew that they would have one in you. And that's just what the rest of us dream of being like. We all dream to be like you, except we're not. You're different than everybody else in a really great and wonderful way. But I don't want to lead everyone else into thinking that you are just this always big wonderful ball of sunshine, and that you're just so awesome all the time, which you are awesome all the time. But I also want people to know that there's a little bit of some extra sass in you and some attitude. You might not be old enough to remember this. Maybe you do from stories or something, but when you were in kindergarten, I remember mom getting a call to your class because the teacher, Miss Carr, called our mom because you would not get out from underneath your table. You refused to come out to do, I don't know, to do a homework assignment or whatever. And Miss Carr was getting irritated with you because every time she tried to discipline you to get you to come out, you would just pick up your hand and you would do this, and you would roll your eyes and mouth whatever it was that Miss Carr was doing. And so we knew from an early age that while you had this really good propensity to be wonderful and good and kind, you also had a propensity to be a little bit hard-headed and a little bit stubborn. And I think that scene with your kindergarten teacher was a good reminder for us that we better watch out. But despite that, I will say, despite everything, you have matured really, really well, but you've kept that spunk and that attitude for better or for worse, but I think it could be used for the better. You even chose a career path for people like you, people who are compassionate, but also for a career path for people who have some attitude, and I think that's a good place for you to be. My advice to you, though, if my advice is worth anything, is to keep both of those if you can. Be strong, but know that you can be vulnerable too. Be soft and compassionate, but don't be a pushover. Don't let people walk all over you, and don't let people shake you from your conviction of who you are and where you've come from. Be strong and vulnerable. Be soft, but don't be a pushover. As a woman, it can be hard to be both of those things. But if there's anyone else in this world who can do both and pull it off, it's the girl who can make friends with anybody on the playground, and also that same girl who somehow got away with telling off her kindergartner teacher by doing this. You can do it, and you'll model it for everybody else how to do it well. So Chloe, with all that being said, I'm really sorry I can't be there tonight, but just know that I love you, and I'm really proud of the young lady that you've become and matured into. And I just admire your very sweet and compassionate spirit that has a concern for the least of those among us, who wants to uplift those who are low in life, and wants to see justice in a world that is often unkind and cruel. So stay with those things that make you who you are. And I really can't wait till you move to Abilene so that I can see you more often. And you can crash at our place anytime you want. And if you get into trouble, don't worry, I won't call Mom. But anyway, Chloe, I love you, and I'm really, really proud of you. Congratulations.